Okay, can you see my slide?
So there's still some echo and muffled tone in the background. So I don't know why it's happening.
No, what about the slides? Can you see my slides right now?
Yes, sir, we can see a slide.
I think I'm not able to do any more sound of this because I tried two mics right now. I have.
So we can not at all hear you. Your voice is clear, but there's some kind of disturbance in the background. I think that's the problem.
Which one is better?
No, sir, there's still some issue.
Hello?
Yes,
Which one
sir.
is better?
Yes, sir, we can hear you. Your voice is clear, but there's some kind of disturbance in the background.
Ritu, can you hear me?
Yes, sir, I can hear you.
Ritu, can you hear me?
Yes, sir, I can hear you.
Hello?
Yes, sir. Am I not audible?
Hello? Hello? Ritu, can you hear me?
Yes, sir, I can hear you.
Yes, sir.
No, is it better than last time? It was better?
No, sir, it's a disturbance. You are clear, but there is some kind of disturbance coming.
Hello? Hello, it's speaking now. Hello?
Sir, കേൾക്കുന്നുണ്ട്.
Hello, hello. No, hello.
കേൾക്കുന്നുണ്ട്.
എല്ലാം കേൾക്കുന്നുണ്ട് സാർ, പക്ഷെ എന്തോ ഒരു ചെറിയ വോയിസിലൊരു പ്രശ്നമുണ്ട്.
Hello. Hello. So we start off with today's presentation on the topic how to execute successful business project. So I am myself Vijay Kumar today. I am working as associate professor in the Department of Computer Science and Engineering, Government Engineering. So the first question that I would like to address is what exactly is an academic project? Because when you talk about
See, organizers, have you informed sir that is it audible, sir's voice?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I contacted him. He is logging in from another device right now.
Right,
He will.
right. So students
Okay.
can patiently wait.
Yeah. I'm typing that in the chat right now.
Hello.
Yes, sir. We can hear you. I think it's resolved right now. Could you speak few words?
Hello. Is it audible right now?
Yes, sir. It's perfect. Oh, it's perfect.
Okay, so you can hear. Okay, thank you. So I hope we have resolved the problem related to audio. And so I welcome you all to my presentation, and I take this opportunity to thank one and all for providing me this opportunity to present the topic, how to execute a successful B.Tech project. So once again, welcome one and all. I am myself Vipin Kumar KS, Associate Professor in Department of Computer Science and Engineering, Government Engineering, Thrissur. So first of all, let's try to address what exactly is a B.Tech project, or basically what exactly is an academic project. So coming to academic project, one of the basic components of the project is research. So, and presently what we see is that this is one of the main criteria that is lacking in projects that are being done by our final year graduate students. So there should be a component of research, and as outcome of a project, you come up with dissertations, marks of your project. You might come up with thesis if you are doing a PhD related project. You might come up with a master thesis if you are doing an M.Tech course, and so on. So next is, as our honorable guest had suggested, there are funding agencies in and around us who are ready to fund our project. So in what all means can you avail project funding? That is another aspect that you have to look into when you do projects. So especially when you do projects, you can get funding from agencies like Kerala State Council for Science and Technology and Environment. You can get funding from CERD and other related agencies. If you are doing a project which can be extended as a product, you are certainly on a ride for a startup. And there are agencies that help you with funding your startups like KFC, Kerala Startup Mission, MSME, CMERDP. CMERDP is Chief Minister's Entrepreneur Development Program. And such funding agencies help you to set up your startups. So let us look at who are the people who do academic projects. The person who does, or the group that does an academic project are admitted students in a university. They are matriculated students of a university. And what does their project result in? They bring up theses, dissertations, or other similar deliverables after doing their project. And these lay the foundation for others to refer and come up with better projects in future. Institutions can associate projects with semesters as well as a course. Normally you find projects being done as part of your semester. Normally you do a mini project and then you do a main project in your final semester. Not only that, projects can be done as part of course as well. Say suppose you are doing a machine learning course, the faculty who is engaging the machine learning course can very well give you a small project work. Project may be assigned by the instructors or it can be proposed by students depending on their area of interest. So normally what we find is faculty engaged in research tend to offer work related to their project or research to students, which help them to participate in good quality projects research work, and that build them to be future technocrats. Also, students come up with their own ideas. They have their area of interest, and usually students do projects in that area as well. But when you look at national level institutes and international level institutes, what you see there is the culture of projects is such that normally students do work that is being offered by faculty. So when students do work under a faculty, or when students do a project work that is being offered by a faculty, they get an opportunity to work in research projects, and that will enable you to build your knowledge base to a much greater extent than when students do projects uh, in their area of interest. I'm not saying that is a disadvantage, but doing projects in the line of research interest of the institute and faculty might be more rewarding to students coming when you like to assess the knowledge gained in that particular area. Then what happens to the project work when it is completed? A project work is evaluated by a committee of evaluators, and final grades are recorded for the project. And what ultimate gain does students get? So project work prepare them for industry related jobs. So naturally, doing project work helps them to get jobs and internship placements in different companies. When you do projects, what happens is that you get an opportunity to learn. Not only that, you get an opportunity to collaborate with others and to solve real problems and develop skills like critical thinking and time management. So solving problems is part of an engineer's life, and to solve problems effectively, you should have critical thinking and time management. To execute projects successfully, time management is a very critical task. So is collaborating with your fellow teammates. So if you look into how placements are done in today's scenario, you seldom find companies asking you your subject related questions. They are more interested in people who are ready to collaborate, who have interpersonal skills, and definitely who are motivated. So to be able to collaborate is a very important quality that is required for students to be successful in an industry. Not only that, you should also be able to work independently. So when you talk about a project, it is not all about collaborating and doing teamwork. There is a part of the job that needs to be accomplished by the person independently. So working independently and coming up with your work done within the limited time is also very important. Next is you need to apply desired skills such as doing research. Every problem that you like to solve require a certain amount of research. So it should be within yourself to be able to think and come up with solutions which are not readily available. And so doing research and knowing the methods of doing research is of utmost importance. If you look at the industry there is a big change that is happening as of now. The problems that are being solved are new problems. Earlier, what you would find is that if you are working in a banking sector, or if you're working in a software division which provides solutions to the banking sector, you might be working in similar projects of various banks. But now, now the scenario is totally different. Now now if you look at the industry, it follows a policy like build once and use many times. That is, you need the best solution, and everyone tends to use that best solution. So each and every say, so if you look at the banking sector, you won't find banking software being done and implemented repeatedly for each and every bank. Basically, what you see is one powerful system is built, and it might be used by all the banks through cloud computing and other sources. Another aspect of doing academic project is having an ability to work with your fellow members and building teamwork and group skills. So when you do a project, it is of utmost importance to have an interaction with your peers, to be able to participate in a teamwork and have demonstrable interpersonal skills. The next aspect of doing project is how do you select a project? So the first thing you need to address is your project's strategic context. And for that, what you can do is you can look at the lab facility available within your institute. You can look at the domain knowledge of the faculty who is guiding your project, as well as you can look into your area of interest. Another aspect to selection of a good project is to think in terms of socially relevant projects, or you can look at industry relevant projects, or you can look at value adding in terms of experience that you are likely to acquire doing that project. Vision about how this works is helping each one of you is also useful in selection of a good project. As our guest had already suggested, interdisciplinary projects are more relevant in today's scenario. Single disciplinary projects have become less and less with the passage of time. Now, the solutions that are being employed require multiple disciplines to act on projects to come up with good solutions. So in today's scenario, it is of utmost importance to have an interdisciplinary project for students. So let us just stress on what is interdisciplinary project. Interdisciplinary studies involve combining of two or more academic disciplines. You have to do research in different disciplines. It requires you to acquire knowledge related to different disciplines. It draws knowledge from several other fields like machine learning, artificial intelligence, robotics, communication, and so on. It is about creating something by thinking across boundaries. So you need to look across other branches of studies to come up with good solutions in today's scenario. If you look at the solutions that are being proposed, you can find some of the cutting edge technologies playing a main role in most of the projects. And what are these cutting edge technologies? If you look at these, machine learning, data science, deep learning, robotics, all these are presently some of the cutting edge technologies that are employed in solution building across different branches. It is about creating something by crossing your boundaries and extending oneself. So you need to acquire knowledge in cutting edge technologies to offer good solutions to the society. Next is, how do you achieve excellence? If you want to achieve excellence while doing a project, you must be ready to do research and explore. That is one of the main important factors in doing a good project. You should be ready to venture outside your comfort zone. You select projects just because you think they are simple or it is doable. It should be possible for you to take up projects which are challenging, which will help you in building your knowledge base, which will help you in developing your interpersonal skills, in collaborating with your fellow members across, not only fellow members, if you go to the industry, being able to collaborate with your senior project managers, clients, all are important. To do a very good project in your academia, especially in B.Tech, one of the things that you can look at is industrial collaboration. So there is a little bit difference between industry collaborated projects and doing projects in industry. So when we talk about industry collaboration, what we are trying to address here is that industry institute collaborations are there, especially in institutes there are cells like IEEE which cater to the needs of these interactions. And as part of this collaborations and interactions, industries offer project work to institutes. And if your institute has some collaborations with some industry, definitely you can think of doing your project related work through industry collaboration. If that is not possible, you can think of going to an industry and doing a project in that industry. Also, during your project, say especially in your B.Tech course, it provides you an opportunity to look at product-based projects. You have ample time and you are highly motivated during this particular period. And if you have some ideas which can definitely be implemented as products, you should definitely try them during this period. So if you are able to come up with a very good product, you can think of entrepreneurship and other aspects with respect to those projects as well. So next is, how do you prepare for doing projects? The first thing is you need to conduct extensive research. You need to do research. You need to look into different areas of research. You should be able to come up with a problem. You should be able to come up with a problem statement. And then once that is done, you can go forward with your project plan. So what are the different steps that comprise of project planning? The first thing is you have to lay out your goals and objectives of your project. You need to specify the tasks and goals you wish to achieve by doing this project. You should identify all the resources that are required to implement your project. In certain cases, if you are availing funding from different funding agencies, you have to look at associated budget as well as timeline for completion. As a group, you should understand the scope and value of your project. You should be able to build your knowledge base around your problem that you are trying to solve. Next is you should be able to build trust and cooperation among team members. So the aspect of trust and cooperation is very important. When I talk about large projects and its implementation, I'll give you an example where similar projects in NASA, say similar projects were done in NASA, and out of the three similar projects, only one succeeded. And when they looked at the reason for its success, they found that the members had better trust and cooperation among themselves. So, in an industrial environment, being able to trust and cooperate with your team members is also very important. So, how do you go about doing your project? So, you build awareness about your project within your team. You should support your team and work as a group. The reason is that you fail as a team or you succeed as a team. So it is basically your teamwork which succeeds or fails. It is for any project work that is undertaken, accountability is very important. So when you have checks and accountability while doing your project, it will certainly make people work hard and bring out the best in themselves. Without accountability, projects might deviate, they might not finish in time, they might run over the budget and so on. So bringing in accountability at some point in your project is also very important. Especially when we look at academic projects, students don't feel the importance of accountability because they do not work in stringent time frames normally. But when you go to industry, you will find that accountability is there everywhere. You have to account for whatever work you do on a daily basis. Next is you have to promote interaction within the team. So interaction within the team will help others to understand the problems that are there within your project. The earlier you try to identify the problems and shortcomings, it will be easier for you to provide solutions, and that will help you not to deviate from the timelines of your project. Establishing communication links with your guide is also of utmost importance, especially if you are doing a work under your guide and the work is given to you by your guide. It is of utmost importance to have a regular communication with your guide. So what are the different benefits that you get out of doing your project? One of the most important one is employability. It helps in making you more employable. Doing a good work successfully will certainly boost your confidence level. You can learn about work culture better by doing projects. Doing successful projects will certainly motivate you for your future, and it adds a lot of value to whatever you have learned. By applying whatever theory you have learned in your project, that will certainly do value addition to your knowledge. It is basically important in any engineering to learn by applying your knowledge. And when you look at today's trends, to build interdisciplinary knowledge and expertise, it is also important to take part and do successful projects. As we have already discussed, it brings about employability. Certainly, doing projects helps you with your jobs and placements. So in today's trend, especially you can see students doing internship during their final years, and that internship changing into placement offers. So that is another aspect that you can look into during your final year. If you are able to get hold of some internships in good companies, certainly those internships will end as a placement offer if you do a good project work. So the present day buzzword is Industry 4. So before Industry 4, we had Industry 1, 2, and 3. So in Industry 1, what was there was mechanization and introduction of steam and water power. During the second phase of Industrial Revolution, which was Industry 2, there was mass production along assembly lines using electrical power. And in the third Industrial Revolution, there was automated production using computers, IT systems, and robotics. And now coming to Industrial Revolution 4, what you see is that you have smart working environment and smart equipment being used in the industry. So everything is becoming smarter and smarter day by day. So when we talk about smart machines, we are trying to address, or we are trying to refer to those machines which are capable of communicating among themselves. So naturally, lot of sensors and communication devices come into use, especially in Industrial Revolution 4 aspect. So if you look at Industrial Revolution 4, there are 9 key areas. These are autonomous robots, simulation, horizontal and vertical system integration, the industrial Internet of Things, cyber security, the cloud computing, additive manufacturing, augmented reality, and big data analysis. Big data analytics. So, what is big data analytics? In Industry 4, the context, the collection of data, evaluation of data from various sources like production equipment, customer management system. All these help in real-time decision making. And what is the advantage of real-time decision making? So delay in decision making definitely affects manufacturing in any industry. So coming to Industry 4, with big data analytics, what is happening is that a lot of data is being created by equipment, by management, and all these data are continuously being analyzed for taking real-time decisions quickly. So that helps with efficient and faster manufacturing in industry. Next is autonomous robots. If you look at the way in which robotics is going forward, it is not very far that you will find robots working side by side with us or humans. So that is the future. And with robotics, it brings about a lot of opportunities, especially to computer science graduates. So even now, say you can start from now itself. I am pretty sure, being a part of IEEE, you all will be interested in working in robotics. You might already be doing work with uh, with Arduino and so on. So all these will lay a foundation for you all to work in robotics and mechatronics. So again, robotics is an interdisciplinary area where computer scientists, mechanical engineering graduates, electrical graduates all work side by side in formulating solutions to problems. Next aspect is simulation. Simulations are especially useful when you look at plant operations. They use real-time data and mirror the physical world in the using a virtual model. So basically, what is done is that they use the data that is available and they try to simulate the physical world using IT related technology. So how this helps is in the fact that it reduces machine setup time and it increases the quality. The next aspect is the horizontal and vertical system integration. So basically, when you look at Industry 4, it envisions connected systems that introduces high level of automation, flexibility, and operational effectiveness. If you look at horizontal and vertical integration, you'll come across connected machines and production units. When you look at the horizontal, you can see multiple production facilities being run more efficiently. That is because when you have multiple production facilities along the horizontal, it is possible for you to shift production to other facilities depending on the available resources and logistics. So timely decisions can be taken when you look at technologies like big data analysis and analytics, data science, and machine learning. And not only that, these have effect across the entire supply chain. So decisions can be taken quickly, remotely, as well as in a centralized manner when you employ technologies like data science, cloud computing, edge computing, and so on in industry. The next aspect of vertical integration in industry is it allows you to bring together different logical layers within the organization, starting from the production floor, going up the level of management. Not only that, data flows freely and transparently up and down all these layers, allowing you to take strategic and tactical decisions at the correct time. Next is Industrial Internet of Things. So coming to Industrial Internet of Things, you find more devices are being used with sensor and ability to communicate. This will allow field devices to communicate and interact along both directions with one another and with central as well as dispersed controlling. Not only this, there can also be decentralized analytics and decision making using edge computing techniques and enabling in real-time responses. Next aspect of IR4 is cyber security. With the increased connectivity and use of standards in communication protocols, what you see is that there is a lot of challenges with respect to cyber security. You need to protect critical industrial data that is being communicated across devices and different layers of the organization. So it is of utmost importance to have a secure, reliable communication along all phases of communication within an industry. Next is cloud computing. So as you look at the industry revolution, more production related undertakings are being are being taken up. Data sharing across sites and company boundaries will be a very common scenario, and when you deal with large amount of data, the importance of cloud computing comes into the picture. So when you want to deal with high amount of data, and if you want to store these data, one of the technologies that will be employed extensively will be cloud computing. Another aspect of industrial revolution is additive manufacturing. We all know that technologies like 3D printing and different types of 3D printing are being developed. Basically, when you talk about 3D printing, it is a layer by layer printing of an object. And what it allows is that it allows us to make complex and lightweight designs very easily. So earlier on, this was one of the main bottlenecks in industry when you are thinking in terms of product development. So now in today's scenario, even while doing a student project, if you are making an electronic device, you need to have a proper enclosing for that particular device. In earlier times, it was very difficult for a student to come up with a enclosing for such electronic devices. But with the advent of technology like 3D printing, it is possible for a student to also design such components and use them in their project. So definitely something like a fab lab will help students in this particular respect. Next one is augmented reality. So in the case of augmented reality, you bring in different sensor modalities into your presentation. So even now we can see the augmented reality being used in selection of parts in warehouses, shopping. Even when you can go to a place like Lenskart, and it is possible for us to visually see how that particular lens will fit on our face. If you go to some shopping cart software, or if you are using some shopping cart software, now what you can do is you can virtually try the apparel, isn't it? So there are different aspects to augmented reality, and even now it is in an infancy stage, and as it grows, it will bring about lot of opportunities to computer graduates. Next thing I would like to discuss is institute industry collaboration. Interaction between academic institutions and industry is definitely very important in today's scenario. Academic institutions can take up industry related problems and provide solutions to the industry. So mainly what we see is that especially in small scale industries, they don't have extensive research departments, and there the academic institutions are in a position to offer solutions to their problems. So the academic institutions can take up such problems, study those problems, and provide solutions to the industry. Also, it provides exposure of industrial atmosphere to graduating engineering students. So you get a feel of the industry, how work is done in an industry, even while when you do your engineering studies. Definitely doing industry related projects will put you in a better position for better placements in industry. Next is, what are the keys to having a collaboration success? So projects must be aligned with industry's needs in order to have a good collaboration with the industry. So the projects that is normally done in the academia is different from the work that is being done in the industry. So especially if you look at the research related work that is done in an institute, they are they are more into knowledge gaining than solving particular problems. So if an institute needs to set up a successful collaboration with the industry, the projects that are being done needs to be aligned with the industry needs. B.Tech and M.Tech projects, dissertations of work can be done under joint guidance of faculty and experts from the industry. So normally what happens is when a work is taken up by an institute from the industry, normally you will have an internal guide who is a faculty member of the department, and you will have an external guide who is part of the industry. So that helps in bridging the knowledge gap between the academia and the industry. So that is also a very important aspect in having a good collaboration with the industry. Next is you can have R&D laboratories being sponsored by industries within the institute. So now, say, if you look at institutes about say 10, 15 years back, not many institutes were having research laboratories being sponsored by industry. Now, what you find is more and more laboratories are being set up in the institutes with the help of or with the aid of the industry, and in such laboratories, the work or the research being done are helpful to the industry that sponsors those labs. So having such a collaboration will certainly better the research ambience within any institute. Next is practical training of students in the industry. So now the trend of providing internship for students have increased a lot. Students have a lot of opportunity in doing internship in industry, and that is another way of having a collaboration with the industry. So what is the advantage that the industries get is they get to know about the students. So the students doing their internship become industry ready, and perhaps it might be possible for the industry to provide placement for such students. Training of faculties at industry is also very important. This is very important to bridge the gap between the academia and the industry. So there is a difference in the knowledge base of the faculties and the experience that is there with the industry people. So allowing faculties to train within the industry will provide more practical knowledge to the faculties and help in providing better solutions during an industry collaboration. Also, faculties can share their expertise by visiting industries. The advantage of faculties is that they have the latest knowledge about different technologies, and they can share this knowledge with the industry. So that is the advantage that the industry gets by having an institute industry collaboration. Again, knowledge transfer between industry and institute is also very important. The kind of knowledge that is acquired in the industry and the institute are different, but these knowledge needs to be shared among the institute and industry
Excuse me, sir.
for both industry as well as the institute to foster.
Excuse me, sir. Sorry for the interruption. Shall we move for a break? It's 11 a.m. now.
Okay, so now we'll have a break and then we'll continue after 15 minutes. Okay.
attendees, please don't leave. The session will restart after the break. Around 11:10, we will start the session. And meanwhile, if you have any questions regarding the first session, please put it in the chat box. And stay tuned. We will start the session around 11:10.
Okay, now we'll continue our session. Now let's study project management. So different steps that we can attribute with any project that is being done in the academia are initiate, plan, execute, monitor and control, and close. So in the initiate step, basically students what they do is they participate in project discovery. They gather information on potential project related problems, and then they come up with a problem that they want to solve. Once that is done, students have to go through a planning phase. So during plan, what they do is they they come up with a project plan which covers implementation, which states the objectives that are to be met, the scope of the project, costs that might be incurred in implementing the project, and so on. And then once the planning is complete, they participate in the execution of the work, and during execution of the work, they come up with documents related to issues and problems they face during the execution of the work. Also, there is a part of monitoring and control that needs to be exercised. So the periodic reports are communicated as the project progresses. Once the project or the product comes to a comes to a phase where the testing can be done, they build the test for the particular software, and then during the closing phases of the project, they come up with documents relating to what worked well and what are the problems that they face, and they share all these knowledge through their project reports. One aspect that the student community miss upon while doing their project is software testing. So what is exactly software testing? According to the IEEE 1059 standard, it is the process of analyzing a software item to detect the difference between existing and the required conditions. So that is basically defect. So there is the existing condition and there is the required condition, and if there is any deviation, that is the defect, and to evaluate the features of the software item. So software testing basically is of two types. One is manual testing. In the case of manual testing, it is a process where the software is tested by doing test cases and then generating the reports based on the output that is generated for each and every testing. In the case of automation testing, the testing of the software is done using automation tools, and the process of generating and execution of the test cases are done in an automated manner. So, if you look at software testing, the shortcomings in the present system are the lack of quality professionals. Testing is a phase which consumes 30 to 50% of the total software development lifecycle activities. Exhaustive testing of a software is an NP complete problem. So if you look at a very large system or a software, it is almost impossible to test the software exhaustively. So during testing, what you need to do is you need to come up with criteria like what kind of coverage criteria you would like to implement while testing your software, and when once these these criteria are fulfilled, you stop the testing process of the software. Also, it is difficult to keep up with deadlines. This is because software testing is a process that is mainly done towards the end of the software development life cycle. So, in order to keep up with deadlines, even though much time needs to be dedicated for software testing, due to the deadlines, sufficient time and resources might not be allocated for the same. So this is an important aspect that is missed in the academic project, and this needs to be implemented in an efficient manner while doing your academic project, because when you go to industry, testing is a process, it's a continuous process literally. even though you have a phase like software testing, testing is done for everything that is being generated. So you need to verify your requirements, you need to verify your design, you need to verify your code whether it is running correctly or not. So there is a lot of verification and testing that is happening in the industry, and it is an important thing to be incorporated in the academic projects as well. So let us look at what is the importance of software testing. As I said, we have a phase like software testing, uh, which is separate, like requirements, design, build, and operation. We have a separate phase like testing. But even then, everything that is being generated, whether it is the requirement document, whether it is the design document, whether it is the code, everything undergoes a testing. Now, what is the importance of testing in different phases? So when you do a project, if an error is identified and removed in the requirement, and let us assume that X is the say one. Let us assume C is the cost that is incurred in identifying and removal of that error in the requirement. If that is the case, the requirement, if that error is identified and removed in the design phase, the cost incurred would be 5 times to 7 times. Now, if the same error is identified in the build phase, that is during your coding phase, it would be 10 to 26 times. If the error is identified in the testing phase, to identify and remove that error, the cost incurred would be 50 to 175 times. And if the same error is identified in the operations phase, then it could be as much as 100 to 1000 times the cost of what would be incurred during the requirements phase. So the same I have shown in the form of a plot. So these figures have come out as part of extensive research, and I'm just reporting those values here just to tell you how important is software testing. And usually in the academia, students give very less importance to software testing. So if you, I think if in software engineering you would have heard about relay curve. So two phases where maximum resources are allocated for different phases are for coding as well as testing. So these are two phases where maximum resources in terms of person is allocated to a project, and that testing is totally neglected in academic projects. So next is how is project management done in the case of large projects? So one of the important requirements for large project management is to develop collaboration, and this is an initial step that is taken. We need to select the right people for a project. We need to develop mutual interdependence and trust among the participating team members. So what is the need for this? So progress of a project depends mainly on the contributions that come from the individual. And people from different disciplines collaborate in today's scenario. And so we need to have mutual trust and effective communication among the team members to be able to do a successful project. So as I said earlier, there was three projects that were done in NASA. One was the Pathfinder, the other one was Climate Orbiter, and the other one was Polar Lander. And all these three projects were similar to some extent, But what they found was that Pathfinder project was successful while the other two failed. So NASA was very interested in knowing what the reason, because uh, these three projects were very similar in what they were trying to accomplish. And what they found out was that the team members that worked on the Pathfinder had more mutual trust and they had better collaboration among themselves. And that was the sole reason or the sole difference between this project being successful and the others failing. So, developing collaboration among the team members of any project is also very important. Next is integrate planning and review with learning. So, review is very important step in a uh, project development life cycle. So, reviews are done along different phases of software development. So, basically, what you see is that reviews are done with the aim of finding fault. So, as as for the team that does the project, there is no learning, and they are mostly criticized for what they have done. So, one of the changes that NASA or one of the projects in NASA introduced was that they changed the style of review. So, what they did was, in the initial day, the team would come and present their work. They would discuss their problems as well. And in the second day, what they did was the entire team, that is the reviewers plus the team doing the project, they sat down and they discussed the problems and solutions possible to it. And such reviews were seen to be much more fruitful than the other criticizing kind of review. And later on, most of the projects in NASA adopted this particular method of review. So, during the review process also, there should be means to develop stable short-term plans as well as flexible long-term plans. Also, not only that, the review process should be a learning process for the team that is involved in the project. Next is how to prevent major disruptions. So, one is you must be able to anticipate and cope proactively with major problems that would arise in a project. Also, so in NASA, what they do is that team they had a project, and that project was running over budget, and it was not being done within the stipulated timeline. So what they did in this particular project was that they tried to reduce the workload by looking at what could be removed from the requirement. They looked at whether some components could be omitted without affecting the performance. They also looked at finding other means of funding for their project. So such actions which try to look into the possible advent of problems and solutions to such problems are also required in the case of large projects. Next is to be able to maintain a forward momentum all the time. And some of the methods that are employed are to solve problems by hands-on and also to have frequent face-to-face communication. The project managers have to do a walk through the teams so that they can interact and find problems, or they are in a position to predict possible problems at an earlier stage. So such steps from the project managers help in successful implementation of projects. Next is research and development projects that are done in the academy. So first let us look at whether there is a difference in the academic research and the industry related research. Basically, when you look at academic research, what is basically done is the research is mainly a discovery focused research. The focus is mainly on the learning, and there is no clinical application that is there as you would find in the case of an industry related research. In the case of industry related research, the research is more problem focused, and there is a sense of immediate impact in the research that is carried out in an industry. Industry goals are aligned with market requirements and are far more stringent compared to academic goals of earning a degree. So, when you look at academic research and industry research, the industry research is mainly supply and demand based. So, basically, industry take up research which will help them in producing solutions or products which are in high demand, and they will be able to supply those products or solutions effectively. Next is the pace. The pace with which the research progress in industry is much greater, and it has a chain reaction kind of effect in the case of industry, because the research that is being done affects different operations or products that will be launched by the industry in future. The project volume, when you look at the project volume that of the work that is done in the industry, you find multiple projects being taken up by people in the industry at the same time. Also, there is stringent management and budgeting that is happening in the case of industry related research. So, industry related research tend to be more successful because of the appraisals that are there at the end of a successful research. Also, the interpersonal skills are important when you look at industry related research, because you need to manage larger groups, you need to communicate with them effectively, and that is not the case when you look at a guide and a student relationship that is there in the case of academia. Also, infrastructure and availability of data is much more in the case of industry. When the people doing research in the industry have large infrastructure and equipment at their disposal, this is not the case with academia. Also, they get access to data readily, and industry do not share their data readily with the academia. So the project that is done in the academia is also affected by the lack of infrastructure and the availability of research data. Now let us look at academic research. So when you look at academic research, it is a systematic investigation that is done into a problem or a situation where the intention is to identify facts or opinions that will assist in solving problems or dealing with a solution. So the focus of an academic research is on research goals or questions that have arise during other research. So normally in academia, what you find is people look at the problems or future extensions to work that is done by other people. So the goals are laid accordingly, and the problems are formulated by looking at the literature and the work done by other people. That is not the case with industry. Industry have very focused problems. They solve or they do research to solve problems or to build technology that is of utmost importance to the industry. So when you look at industrial R&D projects, you find that it it is critical to meet customer needs and stay ahead of competition. So industry uh, related research focus basically on customer needs and how they can beat their competition. You can see enormous amount of funding that is happening in case of industry related research, and though though a lot of funding is done by the industry, it has been seen that there is very little correlation between a firm's R&D expenditure and its financial performance. So this was actually clear by looking at the amount of that is spent by Ford as well as Toyota. So Toyota is almost spending 2/3 of what Ford spends on their R&D projects, and still Toyota has a larger market share in the automobile industry compared to Ford. So large spending necessarily need not translate to financial performance, though funding is important. Also, it is important to do the right projects the right way. So you need to do the right projects, and you need to do that projects in the right manner to achieve performance. So industry R&D projects are basically of 4 types. So one is research done to develop breakthrough technology. Next is research done to come up with next generation products. Then there are research which are done to better the existing products and provide support to the existing products. Also, research is done to better the operational methods within the industry. Let us look at the portfolio of R&D projects. So it has to ensure a strong link between R&D projects and the corporate requirements. So as we have already discussed, the R&D projects in the industry has to be aligned with the aims of the industry of achieving higher performance, and always the industry related research are focused on the customer. Also, you have to create a continuous process that allows for projects to be started and ended at any given time. So if you find that at any given time a project is not feasible, it should be possible to end those projects as well. To implement projects successfully, cross-training of employees to allow greater flexibility in projects is also important. So cross-training employees across disciplines is one of is of utmost importance in today's trend. Also, you need to pursue some breakthrough technologies that can drive in the direction of new products. Another aspect of doing projects is any project which is expected to have huge impact on social living of the people in and around us is also important. So any project which is expected to make huge impact on the uplift of society should be given utmost priority. Nationally relevant projects like projects undertaken with the collaboration of defense, medical environment, energy, health, infrastructure all lead to socially relevant projects. Not only that, what we see is that when students are given socially relevant projects, students respond with intensity and a desire to promote the welfare of others. So, especially when students are given socially relevant projects, they show much more vigor in doing such projects because they know that by doing good projects they can bring good to others, and definitely that motivates students. So some of the social relevant projects that have been done in various national level institutes are agriculture knowledge management system on cloud as a service, advisory alert delivery to the farmers over phone, automatic tagging for agriculture documents, healthcare equipment design, and so on. So next, I would like to discuss about some of the socially relevant things that have been done by students and faculty of our college, and especially during this difficult time of COVID-19. So a group of students and faculty from our department built aerosol boxes for Medical College Thrissur. So these boxes are made to help doctors uh, in uh, in treating patients without or by reducing the risk of getting prone to the disease. Another uh, another project that was taken up by the students of our department was Tira Dudan, which is an app for Indian Veterinary Association. So during the COVID times, it was uh, difficult for them to sell their milk because the milk corporations and societies were not collecting milk from the farmers. So, so some students from our department, as per the request from the veterinary college, they came up with an app which enabled farmers to sell their milk using this app. So they were able to cut the intermediary people also who were engaged in this milk business, and they were able to get more profit by using this particular app during this difficult time. So another project that was taken up by students, this was like in this particular project you could see students from different branches contributing to this particular project. They made a COVID this for collecting swabs. They also made a robot which was capable of doing the sanitization, and this was again done for Government Medical College, Thrissur. The robot that they built was called sanitizer Innocent, and it is a robot which could automatically sanitize everyone's area. Again, students made a face shield using 3D printing facility available in the Fab Lab. So again, this was to medical workers in collectorate and in medical college. This is a ventilator splitter. Again, this was built using the 3D printing, the 3D printer available in the college. So this is a ventilator splitter. During times where there's a shortage of ventilator, the splitter can be used so as to share the ventilator facility to more than one patient. Another project that was taken up was immigrant management system for the Thrissur district, the Government Engineering College Thrissur, with the help of students and faculty. Um, uh, built an immigrant management system, which helped in management of immigrants having or likely to have COVID infection. So data was collected regarding all the immigrants coming into Thrissur. There was that data was available was made available in the software regarding the COVID centers and COVID hospitals. So when immigrants came to Kerala, especially if they were to Thrissur district, if they showed symptoms, they were shifted to COVID centers, and if they were if on testing if it was confirmed that they had COVID, they were moved to COVID hospital. So all this management was done through this immigrant management system. Next is students built a patient cage for dentists so that they could do the treatment with lesser chance of susceptibility to the disease. Another project that was done by the students was to come up with a whisk van, and again this was donated to the Thrissur Medical College. So with this, I come to the end of my presentation. Now, if you have any doubts, you can ask me. Hello.
So attendees, if you have any doubts or clarification regarding this session, please put in the chat box. It's a Q&A session.
Hello. Hello.
Yes, sir, you are audible. You are audible.
Okay. Did anybody ask any doubts?
Sir,
Can you hear
some of them
me?
are asked questions.
Okay.
Anthony has asked a question, so
please ask me your question.
sir, someone already asked a question. Please look at the chat box. So you can stop being a presenter. So since this session is over, we could move on to the Q&A session, and somebody have already asked a question.
Okay. So somebody has asked me regarding proper documentation to be done in phases of a project. Okay. So some of the things that you have to report when you do a project is what are the difficulties that you have encountered while doing a project, and in the end, what you do is you come up with a report. So I'll just mention what should be there in your report. The first thing that you need to have in your project report is a review of literature. So first you have an introduction to your problem. First you have the introduction section. So you introduce what is the problem that you are trying to solve in a very brief manner. And then following the introduction, what you have a literature review. In the literature review, what you do is you do an extensive review of the literature in the areas that you are trying to solve your problem, and you report on the review that you have done by looking at the literature. And then after that, what you present is you present the work that you have done as part of your project. So your project might be, if you look at your work, you might be possible for you to partition your work into, say, 2 or 3 chapters. So the first chapter is an introduction. So in the introduction, what you would have mentioned is, you would have mentioned about your problem, you would have mentioned about the motivation that is there for doing this particular project. You would have discussed about the challenges that will be there in this particular field. So that is your first chapter, and that is basically an introduction. The second chapter, you will discuss about the review of literature that you have done. And now the third, fourth, or fifth. So you might have say 2 chapters, or you might have 3 chapters. These chapters will be dedicated to what you do as part of your work. So you address different parts of the work that you have done. So if you can divide it into 2 parts, you will have the third and fourth chapter where you discuss about the work that you have done. There also, what you do is you discuss about what is done, what are the challenges that you have faced, and how you have solved those problems. If you have any algorithms, all that comes in that particular chapter. So it's your fourth chapter. And then finally, what you can have is, if you are not having any more chapters, or if you don't have any chapters related to your work, then the next chapter, what you can have is, you can discuss about the results that you have obtained as part of your work. So you discuss about the results, and then in the end, you have a conclusion of what you have done, and then you also provide a section where you discuss about what more can be done to what you have already done. So there you can discuss about shortcomings of your work, what all aspects you have not looked into as part of providing your solution. You can discuss about extensions that are possible to your work. Also, you can discuss about any disadvantages that are there in your approach. So this is basically what you would find in a report.
Okay, thank you, sir. So if anyone have any further questions, please do type it in the chat box, so let us know in the Q&A session. So we can wait a few minutes to let everyone ask their questions. So in the meanwhile, could you please type your email ID or any other contact information in the chat box, so the participants can contact you for any other further, doubts or something like that. Please do that.
So I've provided my mail ID. You can feel free to discuss any queries that you have.
Thank you. So does anyone have any questions? Please do let us know. You can let us know by selecting the option chat with the panelist, or you can post it directly in the Q&A session.
Okay, are there any more doubts?
Sir, I think we can wait 1 more minute to let the participants ask any doubt, or else we can move on. Okay, sir.
Sir,
Hello?
sir? Yeah, sir.
Hello?
There is a question. There is a question. Am I audible, sir?
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah. What is the procedure in applying for funding in project?
Okay. Say, if you want to apply for third funding, I think CET Trivandrum has got the third center there in affiliation with KTU, and funding is given for government engineering colleges as well as private engineering colleges. For both, they are providing funding. You need to apply for the funds. Basically, the funding is given through faculties. So, if you want to avail funding, the funding is provided through faculties. The faculties have to apply for the funding for your project. And they get numerous, if they get numerous applications, they have a committee. Committee looks at the details provided by you. I think certain times they ask you to present about your work also. Once if your work gets selected, they provide funding, and for that the faculty has to provide their account. The amount is transferred to the faculty's account, and you can use that amount for your project. And once your project is over, if any balance amount is remaining, you have to credit it back to the third fund. And not only that, you have to provide detailed bill of how you have used those funds. I think funding is available of the order 50,000 for B.Tech project if you get selected. So those bills are audited. The bills might be even audited by Auditor General. So you have to provide or you have to keep proper bill for your expenditure. That's the main. That's how mainly most of the funding is done. So for that, mainly if the procedure would be easy if you are doing a project that is being offered by the faculty. Otherwise, faculties might not be so convinced about availing those funds. Especially if you're working under a particular faculty, then you can definitely apply for funding through faculty. Okay, you have asked whether there is any particular time. I think they call for applications. At that time, you have to apply. I don't remember exactly when they call for applications. Definitely, there is a time when they call for applications and you have to apply. And the only third one is there. You can use Kerala State Council for Science, Technology and Environment. They also provide funding for projects. They also call for applications. Similar procedure is there for applying for KSE state project fund. So once your project is selected, they give you funding. And again, you have to keep proper bills and submit all the bills once your work is over.
Okay, thank you, sir. Actually, Bobby sir is trying to join to the session. He'll be joining soon. He's right now having some kind of technical issues. He'll be joining soon. So we can kindly wait for him about for a few minutes. I think.
Okay.
In the meantime, if any attendees do have any questions, please do let us know in the chat box or in the Q&A section. Thank you. Bobby sir is having some kind of technical issues. He'll be joining us soon. So please wait. Everyone. Okay, Bobby sir, you can speak right now. I have unmuted you.
Can you hear? Can you hear?
Sir, the audio gain is so low. Could you please speak louder?
Yeah.
Okay, sir. Now it's perfect. Now it's perfect.
Now it should be okay. Okay. Can you hear? Can you hear?
Quite loud.
Loud.
It's quite loud now.
Okay. Let me adjust the mic. Okay.
Okay.
Now it should be okay. So it has been a nice session. Sorry, it was because of the some system issues and all. I couldn't join you, so I am extremely sorry for that. So it has been. I was joining the session now and then because the other session was going on and some other works were there. So sorry I couldn't be there for the full time, but it was a nice session. I could understand from the feedback and. Actually, we were contacting Vipin sir in a for a short notice. Still, he agreed, and he could deliver a very good lecture, which was actually enriching the students with some knowledge regarding their projects. And I thank him for accepting our invitation in short notice and joining us from among his busy schedule. He could find some time and join us and share the knowledge that he has on this topic. So I thank him on behalf of the PES Kerala Chapter and on behalf of the attendees. I wish to extend our thanks to him and I thank all the student coordinators also who helped this make this program a great success. Now over to Nitin for further proceedings. Okay.
Thank you, sir. I am Nitin BM. So it was a wonderful session. I hope everyone who have participated in this program had a fruitful day, and I hope you all have cleared your doubts regarding executing a successful B.Tech project. And best wishes for your projects too. Thank you, everyone, and especially thank you, sir, for having with us with a wonderful session. Thank you, sir, and thank you to all the co-host, which is Adoor College of Engineering, Adoor and College of Engineering Trikaripur for hosting such a wonderful event. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Nitin and Bobby sir, for your words. I now invite Noora to conclude the event. Noora, please.
Thank you, Professor Vipin Kumar KS, for your valuable and informative session. Thank you, Shobha ma'am, Srikanth sir, Bobby sir, team from IEEE PES Kerala Chapter, coordinators from College of Engineering Adoor and College of Engineering Trikaripur. Heartfelt thanks to all participants for your enthusiasm and for making this event a great success. Once again, thank you so much.
Okay, thank you, everyone. You can leave now. Thank you, sir. And thank you all for joining us. Have a great day.